There's been a red card, but for who, Chris Kamara?
They can't. Gets a red card. It is a red card. That's not a red card.
And a red is a red card for Zidane.
4 lads, 1 red card.
Welcome everyone, it's 4 lads, 1 red card. I hope you are all doing well. As usual, I'm alongside Jotis, Darren and Alex. Guys, how are you doing?
Fine,
Doing
fine.
good.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. I mean, to be honest, not really good, but sure.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
still
talk
crying.
about it.
Yeah, we'll see why. We'll talk about why he's not feeling good right now.
Exactly, guys. Once again, we have a lot to discuss today. So let's get started without further delay. Just before we begin, don't forget to follow us, put a like, comment, share our content on our social media, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and X now. Guys, we are ready. Let's get started with this big clash of the weekend, the Madrid derby between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. It was a completely crazy match, right? That ended in a 5-2 victory for Atletico. We'll have a look at the match statistics. Therein, that match was a well-deserved victory for Atletico Madrid, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Actually, Real Madrid had a good start at the beginning of the game. In terms of attacking, they had so many chances. They had created some chances, and they actually found 2 goals. The first one was Mbappe's goal, assisted by Arda Guler, and then Arda scored himself. But unfortunately, on the defense, we cannot say the same about Real Madrid because I think Real Madrid defense was just all over the place. I mean, they gave way too many openings to Atletico Madrid, and in the end, they just scored 5 goals against Real Madrid, and it's a huge loss for Real Madrid. I think Xabi Alonso needs to learn a lot at this game, especially when to start players and when to sub players, and also in terms of defensive positioning. Real Madrid players were not very aware of their surroundings. Do you guys remember, like a couple weeks ago on our first episode, I think I mentioned Dean Huijsen was one of the players that I was looking forward to this season.
Mhm.
Well, unluckily, yesterday he was really, really terrible.
Yeah.
He made so many mistakes, especially in the air balls, like the balls that were coming from either free kicks, corners, or just open crosses. He
Yeah.
wasn't very aware of his surroundings, and that caused some goals against Real Madrid.
Yeah, Sorlo dominated him.
Totally. Sorloth
Totally.
absolutely destroyed him, and there was nothing he could do. I mean, it wasn't just only 1 goal. He dominated him in several different positions.
3 goals from like aerial plays, and one of
Yeah.
them was ruled out for handball. But that's actually terrible.
Yeah, it felt like Atletico Madrid really identified the Real Madrid defense's weaknesses, and they insist a lot on that. And we saw that during especially the second half. I think it was like purely destructive from Atletico. Each occasion they had was dangerous. I mean, Real Madrid just disappeared during this second half. So it was a well-prepared match, I think, for Diego Simeone. And I don't think, what about you guys? But I was not sure that Atletico could have won this game before, but they did, and like in a very positive way. Alex, this victory is really important for Atletico Madrid, right?
Yeah. So last week we talked on our podcast about how this game could influence so much the winners' situation. Atletico were in a very bad place before this game because they had not had the start of the season they were expecting. And by winning this derby against their fierce rivals, the momentum is there for Atletico. The morals are up. The team spirit is now very high. And as I said last week, it's going to be a turning point. As far as Real Madrid is concerned, this needs to be a lesson for Xabi Alonso. This shows that even though he is a great coach, and I'm sure that he will have great success at Real Madrid, unfortunately, he's an amazing coach. He still needs a bit more time in order to put his ideas into practice. But as far as Atletico, this will definitely give them a very, very big boost, and they will hopefully start winning again from this position. Because before this game against Real Madrid, they also had a cracker against Vallecano in which Alvarez also played amazing like he did against Real. And it seems like they are finally on the right track again.
I mean, when the game started, when we went up like 2-1, I actually thought this was going to be a piece of cake. Even though,
Yeah, me too.
Atletico opened the scoring, which I was pretty upset about. But then when we went 2-1 up, and that brilliant goal from Mbappe, with a piece of magic from Arda Guler. That was brilliant. And then he scored again, like, taking it 2-1. I was really happy. Everything was going great. Arda Guler was starting. But then that's when, like, the weakness of Real Madrid started to show. Like, the players are very technical. We talked about Dean Houston. We talked about Alvaro Carreras. Like, we praised them for their performances last week. But the fact is, they're really young. They lack the experience for an intense game
Yeah.
such as
I
Madrid
mean,
Derby.
I
And Xabi
disagree a
Alonso,
bit here with you because also Barcelona has very young players and they perform at a better level.
but that's the difference, right? They're from the academy, and they used to the system. But here it's a new coach, it's a new system, it's a new rebuild, and
Yeah,
that's an entirely different scenario.
Yeah, most of them are not like from the academy of Real Madrid. That's the difference.
Exactly. And the other thing is, like, Xabi Alonso, it's its first derby. Like, Cholo Simeone, he had like 48 derbies in its, like, I think 15th season as a manager. So he has 48 derbies and he has plenty of experience. And one thing that I really, really want to see, and then one thing that one thing I feel like Real Madrid lacked is aggression.
yeah,
Real Madrid are always been known for aggressive play, which was clearly lacking on Madrid Derby, but also it's been lacking in Madrid for a while now. I
yeah.
mean, we all know how people like Sergio Ramos and Pepe and Casemiro, players like that, ran the team. Talking about aggression, it also comes down to leadership as well. In moments like this, there's not someone to step up and kind of lead the team. I feel like that's something that's Real Madrid could really use, and that's a big challenge. That'd be a big challenge for Xabi Alonso as well.
I think the fans they expect that leader to be Valverde because he is also the captain. He has been captain so many times this season for Real Madrid. But I mean, I don't think in the locker room specifically he's the type of player that stands up and tells everybody and everybody shuts up when he's talking. He doesn't have that kind of personality, very chill guy. And Real Madrid lack this kind of players. They used to have Toni Kroos, which he was the leader in the locker room. They used to have, like, even in the past, like you mentioned, Pepe and Ramos. They need somebody that can enter that locker room and everybody respects that player. I think that player in the future could be Mbappe, but as long as Vini is there, it might be trouble for Madrid because these two players collide with each other. Even though they don't want to admit it and the Madrid fans don't want to admit it, the egos of the players are working, they are thinking in their mind and probably they are not happy with the situation.
Also, like yesterday, I was taking a look at yesterday's squad, the Real Madrid lineup, and aside from Valverde, I feel like the player that should be the leader of the team in terms of being like Sergio Ramos or Pepe is Carvajal, but I feel like Carvajal is not a good leader in the pitch because he's the one that sometimes makes mistakes by how he got the red card in the Champions League last
Yeah.
week. I mean, this is not a mistake that a leader should make because Carvajal is making constant mistakes. Also, yesterday, I don't think he was performing good, and I think he's injured right now. Also,
Yeah.
Real Madrid is lacking right backs because both Trent Alexander-Arnold and Carvajal are injured. I don't know how they're gonna fix this defense because Militao is also injured again, and
Hmm.
unluckily for them, Militao I think is the best defender that Real Madrid has in the squad. But losing him and Carvajal at the same game is gonna cost them a lot in the future games.
And also, this shows that Xabi Alonso had like a perfect start to the season, and everyone was thinking like this is it, like this is it. We're ready for big games. And I feel like there was even like some talk about Real Madrid winning the La Liga with 100-point mark, like getting to the 100-point mark. I feel like this has given us a reality check that we're nowhere near ready for the big games. I mean, this was the big test, and we clearly failed. And I feel like this is a really good time to like look at ourselves and see the problems and try to fix it. But it's not just one, like Alex just mentioned, Vinicius, Mbappe, and then clearly we have so lot of defensive problems and then lack of aggression, leadership. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Xabi Alonso going to tackle all this.
Yeah, I wanted to know, do you guys are still like, it's the beginning of the season, so that was the first test for Xabi Alonso and this new Real Madrid squad. Last season, you remember, we saw that this team was struggling against big teams during big fixtures. We remember that they didn't win against Atletico Madrid, except in Champions League. They didn't win against Barcelona. We remember the defeats against Barcelona in big games, also in Champions League. So, do you think that this Real Madrid side is improving by taking on some big fixtures like this, or they're still lacking some more energy, more aggressivity, more maybe technicality? What do you think, guys?
I think they're still lacking a lot of experience, to be sure, especially in the defense, because their positioning in the defense, when the team sits on the low block, when the opponent is attacking, the positionings are not good. I mean, they are not aware of their surroundings, as I stated before, and this is a big problem, especially in the big games, because let's say they concede a goal against Rayo Vallecano or Getafe or any other Spanish team, like a mid-table team, you can get the chance to score back, but sometimes in the big games like this, you might not get the chance to score again. So these mistakes are costing the game for Real Madrid in big games like this, and they're going to play a lot more important games against Barcelona in the league and also in the Champions League. They have a tough fixture, so they should take these mistakes and learn from them. But if they don't do that, I'm afraid this season is going to repeat the last one. So Xabi Alonso needs to find a way to improve these defensive mistakes.
And also the system that Xabi Alonso has set up. I mean, clearly it's not fall proof. So what's how do you find the balance? Like one aspect that Real Madrid is always known for is the ability to come back, like bounce back from
Remontada.
matches, remontada, like
Yeah.
matches that seem impossible. For me, I think a lot of Real Madrid fans would agree. In the last 1 or 2 years, we don't really have that feeling that we could come back. We talk about like Xabi Alonso system now, but even last year when Ancelotti was in his final term, it didn't feel like we had that in us, like we had that ability to make that comeback in us. But before, we always had that belief, like no matter how worse the situation was, we would always believe in a comeback. I don't know if it's certain players missing or if it's just a lack of confidence, but it just feels like that's not there, and that's up to Xabi Alonso to bring that back, bring that feeling back into the teams, that feeling back into the fans. So that's one other challenge as well.
You know, you mentioned the system that Alonso is playing. Do you remember, like back when he was at Leverkusen, he used to play with a three defenders formation. He used to have three at the back. And now at Real Madrid, he started some games with three players at the back, but the formation that he's been using more consistently is a four at the back formation. And this was a very big debate before the beginning of the season. I think this shows that maybe he's a bit scared to try his formation that brought him so much success at Leverkusen, because Real Madrid are not used at all to play in a free defender formation. So he's experimenting. I think he tried a formation that could suit his squad. That's the recommendation. But also you have to impose your vision to adapt a tactic that will improve your vision in the long run. And Alonso just tried to get on the situation right now, to take care of the situation right now. And maybe that cost him because he's not really sure what to play in this four at the back formation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like Xabi Alonso has not yet found the perfect formation for this team. We all knew that it's gonna be hard for him to find the perfect solution, because when you have so many talented players that are used to play in some formations, that then you add new players on that, so it can be understandable that it's difficult for him. But I agree that he has to maybe impose more, even with like losing some points. But you have to find a new identity for this club. And also I wanted to talk about this moral aspect, mental aspect that you said before, the remontada phase that Real Madrid has during lots of years now. You remember that the last result kind of remontadas was this against Dortmund in league phase last season. You remember when
Yeah,
they beat Dortmund
5-2.
after
Yeah,
losing
not
the
2-0.
game, and that was also at the same time as the Ballon d'Or ceremony when Vinicius has lost the Ballon d'Or. And I think that this situation, like, it puts some pressure on Vinicius. He's not the same since this trophy. And you talked also about Valverde. You remember that Modric was one of the key elements in this squad while doing remontadas. Rodrigo also could be one of the men. And when you see the teams right now, Modric is not still in the squad right now. Rodrigo is in a difficult situation. Vinicius, you can see that mentally he's not at 100%. So I think Real Madrid has now to form new players, young players they have with this mentality to gain back this mental and to maybe ready to face a big fixtures like this and maybe like work on that situation, work on that kind of game, even if they are losing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. They were ready to face that. Now I think they are not ready. So that is maybe the work of Xabi Alonso to work on that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Jude Bellingham. I mean, I remember in his first season, he was amazing. He was scoring and assisting literally every single game, but he's not that player anymore. Last season, he started to drop down a bit in terms of performance, and this season, he was doing okay until the injury. But after the injury, I mean, Xabi Alonso made the mistake of starting him, I think, yesterday because he wasn't ready to start. I didn't like his performance that much. And also, back in the day when Ancelotti was playing a formation like 4-3-1-2 without wingers, two strikers, in that formation, Jude Bellingham was working very well in number 10 as a shadow striker. But in this formation, in yesterday's formation, Mbappe was the only striker, only forward player, and Jude Bellingham alone behind him. I don't think he was performing very well. And Arda Güler returned to the wing. I still believe Arda is still better in the midfield, but I would say he played very well in the wing as well. I mean, 2 goal contributions in a Madrid derby is really, really good for his age. But I don't think this formation and this system is working right now with some of the players. I also agree about the confidence part, especially for Vinicius Junior. He lost his confidence, and I don't know how he's going to find it because I remember after losing the Ballon d'Or, he posted, and in the post he stated that I'm going to come back even stronger, work even harder for the Ballon d'Or, but that didn't
Times
happen.
more.
Yeah, he dropped down even more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna be a bit sassy here with Bellingham. He was amazing in the first part of his first season. It was then when he scored like that crazy amount of goals for Real Madrid. Then in the second part of his first season, he wasn't involved as much in the attacking play of his team as he was from when he arrived. And then his second season last year was a very bad year for him. It wasn't a bad year only for him, it was for the whole Real Madrid squad. But I mean, his trajectory has been going downside, you know, ever since he signed for Real Madrid. He was up here and then he started to go down and he's reached this level. I'm not denying that he's world class and he has qualities, but he needs to step up because he's falling in the conversation of the best midfielder in the world, because people were comparing him to players like Vitinha or Pedri or other midfielders that right now at this moment in time they are levels of above Bellingham. He also came back from an injury, and as you said, it affected him during yesterday's game.
I agree that Jude Bellingham is not at the same level as Pedri or Vitinha, but I don't think his performance has been consistently going bad since his like peak in the first part. Of course, like in the first season when he came in, like the system was in a way where he had the freedom, like he had the freedom to go anyway, like he had the freedom to play. He had, he could score goals. He was in a position where he had a lot of chances. But in the second season, that wasn't the case. Mbappe came and there was like Vinicius and Mbappe, and that like he didn't have the same amount of opportunities to score or make an impact in the same way he did in the first season. But but that doesn't mean his performance has gone consistently bad. I think he has still showed up. Again, he's not at the same level as the other world-class midfielders, but I think he's still right up there. And he just bounced out from injury, and this is his first start in this season. I mean, he played in the Club World Cup, but we would consider that the previous season. So in this season, this is the first start. So I think it's a bit too harsh to judge his season
So
performance just from one game.
a red card for my take, right?
Where is it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Guys, yeah, talking about the players, yesterday Julian Alvarez was named man of the match. I think we all agree on that
Definitely.
election after scoring twice a wonderful free kick that we all saw. And just few days after his hat trick against Vallecano, Alex, it looks like Julian Alvarez is really the key player in this team, right?
Yeah, no, Julian Alvarez is an amazing player. He's a player that every coach would want in his team. There was a bit of tension between him and Simeone before this
Yeah, the
amazing
summer.
week for Atletico because they were not playing well, they were not winning games, and there were rumors appearing that he may regret his move from Man City to Atletico because he came from a team where he won everything possible, the Premier League, the Champions League. He's even a World Cup winner, and he came to
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid even though he had a great first season. He didn't win nothing last year, and maybe that feeling started to come into his mind that he may regret his move here to Atletico Madrid. But right now, I think all the tension has been relieved, and Julian will try to carry Atletico towards any title this season. I don't think they can win La Liga. I think it will be a very close battle between Barcelona and Real Madrid, but maybe they can focus on Copa del Rey. They haven't won that competition since 2013. Why not try a long run in the Champions League? Because Atletico have shown in the past that they are a team that are capable of reaching the final stages of the Champions League. And Alvarez is exactly the type of player that can deliver you these results that are necessary in order to have amazing seasons, to win trophies. He's a trophy player.
And I mean, this was the headline from the last game as well, because this was revenge for Julian Alvarez. Because the what
Yeah,
happened with the last time Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid met.
the robbery. The robbery by UEFA.
People call it different names, but I can't comment on that. But the double touch controversy, and
Yeah.
they had to go out, and there was a lot of criticism on Julian Alvarez because it was his penalty, and I feel like this is a proper comeback. So I and the irony is that they went on the lead on a penalty, and Julian Alvarez took it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a lot of pressure. But
Imagine if
that's a
you did the double touch again.
yeah.
Yeah, God
imagine.
bless.
But I guess like they took that rule out after that controversy. They removed that rule.
Of
Yeah,
course,
it's not
of
it's not a
course.
rule anymore.
But of course, Real Madrid had to benefit from it. Why?
I can neither confirm or deny those allegations.
Yeah, red
I mean,
card for you here.
I don't know if Julian Alvarez is regretting leaving Manchester City, but I bet that Pep Guardiola is regretting letting
Yeah,
him go
for
because
sure.
Yeah.
even though he's a striker, I bet he can play better in the wing more than the Manchester City wingers, apart from Doku, because I love Jeremy Doku, but Julian Alvarez is a very complete player. He's super technical. He can play striker. He can play as a secondary striker who makes services. He can play as a winger. I bet he can even play as a number 10.
Yeah.
I mean, he can perform as a better number 10 than Jude Bellingham's yesterday performance. Not in overall, because Bellingham is more experienced than Alvarez, I would say, even though he won everything, Julian Alvarez. But I still like him a lot. And I feel like the team, the rest of the players, accepted that Julian Alvarez is the star of this Atletico Madrid team. That's the important part here.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted also to talk about another player that really interested me yesterday is Pablo Barrios, the younger Spanish
Mhm.
midfielder. I think he's really great. He's really impressive with his work rate. The midfield with Koke and him is really interesting to follow. I think he really stifled Real Madrid midfielders. Valverde, for example, we haven't seen him a lot yesterday. And yes, with his work and with his strongest, he allows his attack to be effective. I think this kind of player could evolve more and more in this team, also in maybe Spanish national team, even if they have, I don't know, maybe 200 midfielders right now. But he's
Yeah.
really interesting. He has this aggressivity that Simeone likes on his players, and also this talent. Like he's always going straight trying to make differences. And yeah, I wanted to have a word also on him because he's very impressive. Also on Real Madrid side, we saw, like we talked about Oise and Carreras that struggled in this match, the defense. But some still managed to shine. Therein, we wanted to have a word also on Arda Guler, who was impressive during this first half. To be honest, he may be one of the key players in this Real Madrid side right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always said that last season Real Madrid was lacking a Toni Kroos type of player who can play, make, and create chances for the team. And I truly believe that Xabi Alonso did the right thing to convert Arda from being a right wing to a central midfielder because he can create so many chances. And we can all agree, I think, on the fact that him and Mbappe are a very good link. I mean, some people are comparing them to Mesut Özil and Ronaldo back in the days. I think it's a bit early, but of course they are shining a lot that they can be like that in the future. But I love how they are improving themselves and how they are improving their chemistry. One thing I would criticize Xabi Alonso is that even though Arda made 2 goal contributions in the derby, he made one mistake and that caused the penalty. And after that, Xabi Alonso subbed him out. And
Yeah.
after subbing Arda Güler out of the game, Real Madrid were having a hard time trying to find chances and creating chances in the offense. And I truly believe that's because of this substitution. I think no matter what, Arda Güler should be in the squad, especially when Real Madrid are trying to find the goal. Otherwise, it undermines their attacking power a bit.
Yeah, I think that Arda Güler is the most creative player in this Real Madrid side. He he has that ability to play that final pass, that through ball that slices the defense and puts the attacker one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And this is how they scored those 2 goals at the Metropolitano. Guler slotted that pass for Mbappe and then he scored the second. And after taking off their most creative player, they couldn't create any chances at all because their collective play was so bad. They didn't create chances as a result of a great team play. They created chances relying on the great individual ability of their players, because I don't think we can deny it. If we are comparing the Real Madrid squad player by player with any other squad in the world, Real Madrid is winning like on a massive difference, but they don't play good as a team and they rely on the individualities to create chances. And when you took off your best creative player, there are no chances created left. And Atletico really, really benefited from that.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to finish this sequence about this derby. Jotis, what do you like? We saw yesterday that Mbappe scored once again. He's in great form. The goal is wonderful. We also see a good assist by Vinicius, so kind of good moves by the Brazilian. But do you think this season, we saw that last season was difficult for them to combine. Do you think this season, those two guys, those are the two superstars of this team in attack, right? Can these two players really make the difference for Real Madrid in huge games like this? What do you think?
I think so. I think they can because yesterday we saw Mbappe's like first goal. I mean, that shows like how world class he is. It was like what like a wall pass to Arda Güler and then make a run and then one touch, one finish, and that was it. Like like Mbappe has shown. I think it's 10 goals in 8 games. So he shows he's like world class, and also winning with the assist for Arda Güler. That was like a brilliant move. So I feel like both players have their own qualities and they can contribute to the team as much. How they combine well is something I'm really curious about. Honestly, I don't know how that's gonna look like. I'm sure Xabi has a way of doing it. So far, Mbappe has been the better player. Vinicius is still getting back to his level. He has shown the glimpses of brilliance that he has in a couple of games, but he hasn't like gotten back to his level. So I'm hoping in the coming games he can show what made him one of the fan favorites at Real Madrid. He has that, striker instinct. He scored goals in some of the most important games for Madrid. So I think he can do it. And Mbappe, of course, he's world class. He's a World Cup winner. He's one of the best players in the world right now. So I'm really hoping Xabi finds a way where they can combine both of them together and do the best for Madrid.
Yeah, one thing I want to just state before we move on from the Madrid derby is that I saw some tweets in the Turkish social media, especially after the Arda Güler's goal. Is that did you guys realize that after Arda Güler scored the second goal, most of the players didn't go to him to celebrate. They went to Vinicius because he made the assist. Only Federico Valverde went to Arda to celebrate with him. So in the social media, there's actually a huge backlash on the Real Madrid players by the Turkish fans because they didn't celebrate with Arda. There is this idea that people think Real Madrid players are discriminating Arda or they're jealous of Arda. That's why they don't celebrate with him. That's why only Valverde went to Arda and they went to Vinicius. And I also want to hear your opinions about this as well because it's a huge topic right now in the Turkish sports media.
Quickly on that, I mean, this I don't know too much about this because I wasn't even aware of this until this moment.
Mhm.
But I feel like it was more of Vinicius getting back to his form, so people wanted to celebrate with him than a discrimination against Arda. This is just what I think because I,
Yes,
I saw the replay again and then Bellingham was like in the middle of the goal when that goal went in. Then he was running towards Vinicius because he was like being very aggressive with the celebration, like Vinicius, and as he always does. So I think they were more happy for Vinicius for that brilliant assist that he had than for the goal for Arda. I don't think it's a discrimination. I just think
No.
they're more happy seeing Vinicius back on form while Arda has been, good or brilliant this season. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's a discrimination, but I didn't see that many games where players run to the one who made the assist instead of the one who scored the goal. It was a bit of strange to me as well, but I don't think it's a discrimination. I'm sure Arda has a great relations with all the players. I mean, he is a character that everyone would love, so I don't think it's a big issue. I just wanted to state it before.
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting situation. You have to follow up this. So this was Real Madrid's first defeat of the season, as it was for Liverpool, who lost to Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Therein, it looks like that Crystal Palace is really Liverpool's nemesis this season, right? After the Community Shield and now in Premier League.
Yeah, first the Community Shield and now the Premier League. It has been an interesting game, and Crystal Palace is, as you said, it's one of the teams that are the nemesis of Liverpool right now. So I've seen the game, I watched the game, and I should say that it was a game in between the both teams. I would say both teams were playing well from time to time, from sequence to sequence. But one player who shined on the Liverpool side is definitely Alisson Becker. I mean, if it weren't for him, the game would have been over like way earlier than the last minute goal that Nketiah scored, which we're going to talk about also. But I feel like Liverpool also has some defensive mistakes, just as Real Madrid as well, because Konate, like Huijsen, like we said about Huijsen, Konate made lots of mistakes, lots of individual mistakes, and it could have costed them a lot more goals than just 2 goals where Palace scored. So they should definitely work on that. Otherwise, the title that they pursue is going to get a bit risky. We're going to see how Arsenal performs today as well. Moving on to Crystal Palace side, I think they performed really, really well. The first goal was, I would say, a bit lucky because Sar was empty inside the penalty area, so he just needed to tap in and score the goal. But the second goal, especially where the place where Liverpool were trying to score, it was more impressive to me because throughout the season, everyone were saying that Liverpool has been winning the games in the last minute. And if the football was not a 90-minute game, if it was an 80-minute game, Liverpool would have lost all the games. But
Yeah.
we see how tables have turned because this time when Liverpool were trying to score a goal in the last minutes, Federico Chiesa pulled one back and it was 1-1 and they were trying to score in the extra time. Turns out Crystal Palace actually scored and they won the game, which was very, very surprising to me. And I bet it was surprising also to the football fans that watched this game. But it was a very enjoyable game. We're going to see how Liverpool is going to perform this week because as we know, they have a tough game in the Champions League. They're flying to Istanbul to play against Galatasaray. I would say
Yeah.
Galatasaray are not at their
Galata.
best form right now, even though they won the game 2 days ago. I would say they're not playing really, really well right now. But, big games are always different. Just like the derbies, teams perform very different in the big games with different mentality, with focus. So we're going to see how that goes for Liverpool and for Galatasaray.
Yeah, nice. We have a look also at the other results from yesterday in the Premier League. We saw that big teams have lost, like Manchester United losing at Brentford, Chelsea once again losing, this time at home against Brighton. I was saying before the podcast that Chelsea have won as many matches as they have received red cards in the Premier League today. So we can congratulate them for that. We have also Man City winning 5-1 against Burnley with another 2 goals from Haaland. Ale, Jotis, do you have a word about any of these results?
I mean, in terms of Chelsea, this time it wasn't it wasn't Robert Sanchez who got sent off. It was Trevoh Chalobah. So
Yeah,
it seems like we have one red card per game for Chelsea. They are on a good ratio. At this point, they should all be on our podcast, you know?
exactly.
It was a very unexpected result. It was a very unexpected list of fixtures in the Premier League because big teams have lost. Liverpool have lost. Chelsea have lost. That red card that Chalobah received definitely changed the whole game and the whole situation for Chelsea because they went on to concede all the free goals after he was sent off. And this shows the fact that they have received two consecutive red cards in two consecutive matches, shows that the team, even though the team is on the right track with Enzo Maresca, they still need to find that concentration and get those results in these matches because the fans were started to think that they can compete for the title, but I think those results against United and Brighton proved that Chelsea are not ready yet to compete for the big prize because
Mhm.
their team needs to not gain more experience but maybe get mature a bit more so they cannot throw away matches like they did against Brighton and United.
Quickly, I don't really have anything to add on the games, but I quickly want to talk about the Premier League table at this point. So at second, it's Crystal Palace, right after
Yeah,
Liverpool. And guys, remember my prediction on the first
yeah, we
episode?
did.
Guess who's at fourth? I mean, again, this is way early, like this is too early in the season. But I'm just saying, at fourth, it's none other than Sunderland.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm just
go.
incredible,
saying,
right?
Notice,
let's go.
just as you mentioned, do you guys remember my prediction as well? Bournemouth sitting on number 5 right now on the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I said I expect them to finish maybe in top 7 or something like that, but right now they're 5. As you said, it's still early, but yeah, here we go. I
And
hope both Sunderland and
yeah,
Bournemouth keep these performances so we can have a celebration at the end of this season, Jotis.
yeah.
Exactly, something to watch out for.
Yeah, let's just say you're a genius for now. We don't saying that this is the start of the season. You're just perfect in predictions. Quickly to finish this Premier League segment. Sorry, this afternoon Newcastle is hosting Arsenal. An interesting game. Quickly, I want you score prediction for this match. We'll begin with you, Alex. What's your prediction?
I mean, Arsenal have always struggled against Newcastle away, so I must say 1-1, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 Newcastle.
Okay. Interesting one.
I was just checking the expected lineups. I'm going to say 2-2. I also expect a draw between the two teams.
Okay, I kind of agree with you. I also expect a draw, and I'm gonna go for 0-0. I know it's not really exciting, an exciting result, but I don't know. I'm not really excited about Arsenal this year, and I think Newcastle is also a bit struggling. So yeah, we'll see. I'm writing down your predictions, and we can now move on. Italy. Today, Juventus hosted Atalanta. The score was also a draw, 1-1 at the Juventus Stadium. And the other big match of the weekend is this AC Milan against Napoli tonight. Guys, who do you think will win this big match? Maybe for the title, not for now, but it's an important game, right?
It's a very important game in Serie A. I mean, Napoli are favorites because they are the champions, and Milan, even though they have been on a very good run of form recently, they are still not at the level that they want to achieve. I don't think Milan can beat Napoli. I think that it will be either a draw or a win for Napoli. So Conte is a very tactical coach. Allegri also, but Conte has that flavor, you know. He has that spirit. He's the Mourinho of Italy. And I think he can guide Napoli even to another title because they started on the front.
I mean, my man was able to take Højlund from Manchester United and make him seem like a good player, so he must
Yeah,
be the Mourinho of
exactly.
Italy.
That's easy because as soon as you get out of Manchester, you just become world class.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, exactly. No matter where you go, you can get out from Manchester United, you can go to the Slovenian league or Japanese league, you will still perform very well. Don't worry about it. It's the Man United here. So I was saying I expect a Napoli win against Milan, although Milan were seeming okay right now. You all know that I don't like Allegri and I don't like his play style. But I gotta admit that he's been doing okay with Milan so far. But I expect Napoli to overcome this derby and win the game against Milan. I think Kevin De Bruyne or Højlund, one of them is gonna score tonight. It's just a hunch, it's
Okay.
just a feeling for me. But we'll see how they play.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same feeling as well. Like I think Napoli will win. I think McTominay, is he starting? If he's starting, I think he's
I
gonna
think so. I
score.
think so.
He's the Zidane of Naples, McTominay. He's had an amazing glow up
Yeah,
since
another
Yeah, yeah,
another
he
player who
did.
left Manchester and had a glow up.
Yeah, another one. That's crazy, but yeah, I kind of agree. I see Napoli winning tonight against this AC Milan, even though this will be a tough match, I think. Yeah, I think that this Napoli side is really powerful, especially in Serie A. Yeah, I'm seeing them winning tonight. Finally, there was another interesting match in La Liga this weekend. Villarreal taking on Athletic Bilbao. 1-0 for Villarreal, which maintained his third place in the ranking, so that's interesting. I wanted also to know something, guys. Barca will play Real Sociedad after that. I think we all agree that Barca would win. I just want to know how many goals will they score against Real Sociedad. What do you think?
I say it's gonna be 4-0 for Barcelona. And I'm not
Okay.
saying that just for sake, but Real Sociedad, they changed their coach this summer and they have not been doing well at all this season. They are in the bottom half of the table. Barcelona could capitalize on the Real Madrid loss yesterday and can go top. And I think they will beat Sociedad by 4-0.
4 goals, okay. They're in Jaris. What do you think?
I don't know about the score, but I feel like I don't know. This is again just a hunch, just a feeling. But
Mm-hmm.
since Real Madrid lost points, they lost the game yesterday. I feel like Barcelona will not miss this opportunity, and they will lose points as well tonight. I don't know why.
My God.
It's just a feeling.
Okay.
Actually, that's exactly how I feel as well. I was just gonna say that. I
Yeah, for
think
sure. Like every
Barca is gonna
weekend.
I mean, isn't it
Barca is gonna
always
mix
like
it
this?
up.
Isn't it always like this? Like you get the perfect opportunity, Real Madrid loses, and then boom, you lose again.
You
You
are
lose as
giving
well.
me heart attacks, guys. No.
I don't think Barca is gonna lose. I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1.
Yeah, I'm expecting something like this too because Real Sociedad is suffering, and I just checked the table right now. They are sitting on 17th position, right above the relegation zone. So they need points as well. They need points as soon as possible. So they're gonna fight for their life.
But also Barcelona has a few players that are unavailable. Joan
Mhm.
Garcia got injured. Rafinha isn't available to start.
Yeah, Yamal back
And
from injury, but
yeah,
we'll see how if he plays or not. We'll see that.
Yamal is also uncertain if he can still play or not. So you may be right. I hope you are wrong, but
We'll see
you
next
have
week. We'll talk
arguments.
about this.
Yeah, well, it will be interesting to follow that match. Guys, I think it's time now for our last sequence. We wanted to do a press review, so talk about the latest information in the world of football, discuss about it, and like give our opinions. The first subject we wanted to talk about is this announce of Sergio Busquets retiring, the last survivor of this legendary Barcelona midfield. We know his records, we know his trophies won, his level. Did this announce this news affect you guys?
His
I mean,
retirement is very sad news for football fans, but we expected it because he's 37, I think. How old is he right now? 37. He, there are certain positions that are named after players.
Mm-hmm.
The Makelele role, I think Busquets really rewrote that manual for the center defensive midfielder. He started what went on to become a reference for younger players, and his style of play is unique. You can instantly recognize him on the pitch, even though he wasn't the fastest player, he wasn't the most technical player, he was the most intelligent player on the pitch, and you just couldn't press him. If you tried to get the ball of him, he would get a trick out of the hat and slap a pass through or something. I enjoy him a great retirement, and I hope we can find somebody like him again. But it will be so difficult.
I read the other day that I don't know who said this, but the quote was, if you want to know someone's football knowledge, someone's level of football knowledge, you ask them about Sergio Busquets and see what their response is. So I think that kind of perfectly summarizes Sergio
Yeah,
Busquets. Like,
Yeah.
he's not your star player. He doesn't steal the
no.
headlines. He's never on the front of a page when you win El Clasico, even when you win the Champions League. He's never on the headlines. He's hardly on the pictures. He's never the star, but he was such a core part, such a central part of that Barca team that kind of dominated competitions, dominated Europe, and he's the perfect combo for like Xavi and Iniesta. I mean, they're like creative, organizational, like magicians, but Sergio Busquets is kind of the final piece that ties
Backbone.
together. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of El Clásicos and we lost a lot of them. And whenever Busquets had the ball, I was really hoping this guy would like lay one miss pass or he'll miss,
Yeah.
like
No chance.
he'll crack under pressure. But the guy never did. He never cracks under pressure. Like, and here's the crazy thing, right? He's not fast. He's not the most physical guy, but he has
No.
insane football IQ. Like, his intelligence and vision is what sets him apart. And I wish him a happy retirement. I hope, for my sake and for Real Madrid's sake, Barca doesn't find a replacement.
Guardiola, I think, said someday that if you look at the Busquets, at the playing, you see the whole game, and also that sums up his career. And just for you, it's a very big red card for your take, man. How can Barcelona not find another Busquets?
Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they already have some players that can replace him. But yeah, to just add something on Busquets, I think he was really underrated by non-football fans, maybe, or the just people watching footballs like shortly or not really deepful. He was like so talented. I think that for every manager, every coach, when you knew that Busquets was ready to play, you just put him directly. The first man on the pitch was Busquets, and then you complete the team around him because you knew that with, like you said, his football IQ and also his humility. We talked about some egos, war in the locker room, things like that. When you have a player like Sergio Busquets, you can be confident that your team will like run up perfectly. Your team will play very good as you want it, and it he will not be the man that argue with the teammates or with the referees. Or so yeah. This announce was a bit like expected, as you said, Alex. But I think we'll all miss players like this because it's really hard to find typical central midfielders with this intelligence, with this style of play. So yeah, that is sorry a huge announce in this football world, this retirement. I then wanted to know. We know that Europa League began this week. We saw some results that went. I wanted to know, guys, do you have a team that you want to support, a favorite, a player you want to watch in this competition? What do you think about this Europa League campaign?
The team to watch in Europa League is FCSB, the champions of
Yeah,
Romania.
yeah, we know.
Nah, just kidding. But they started with a very surprising result. They beat Eagles away from home. That's a team from Netherlands. They won 1-0. And it's a very surprising result because they are doing so bad in the league. You don't know, guys. They are just above the relegation zone in the
Really?
Romanian league. And they are the champions. And they played like 10 matches and have lost 6 out of them. Only one win the whole season. And then they started the competition, the Europa League, with a win away from home against a team from Netherlands that, attention, they have won the Netherlands Cup last season. A
Really?
competition in which they faced Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, all those
Yeah.
big teams. They managed to win it. Then they come to the Europa League and then lose to FCSB. That's crazy for me.
That is absolutely crazy. I watched just one game this week from the Europa League. It was between Dinamo Zagreb and Fenerbahce because Fenerbahce is a Turkish team, and I'm curious how they're gonna perform under Domenico Tedesco, their new head coach after Jose Mourinho, but unluckily for them, it was a horrific performance by Fenerbahce. I don't think Tedesco is doing really, really well because he lost points in the league as well, and they lost against Dinamo Zagreb 3-1. So Dinamo Zagreb are now sitting in second in the Europa League. I don't think they're a really, really good team because it's just Domenico Tedesco's system that made Dinamo Zagreb look good. They're not very technical, but I'm still curious to see how they're going to perform in their next games as well. Also, Lille, I wanted to see how they're going to perform as well. Maybe you want to say something about that, Jules? How are they performing in the Europa League and also in the French?
Yeah, to be honest, the two teams I want to follow is so Lille and Lyon too. These two teams are different now, have different situations in the French league. They're not doing superb, but they're doing good. The thing is that Lille last year was in the Champions League. They finished seventh in the top eight, you know. So now they are kind of a different situation this season. You have to like assume this new role that you are not playing in the Champions League. You are not playing for even for the podium. It will be difficult in French league this season because Marseille is back. You have teams like Monaco, for example, that is doing really good also, not in the Champions League, but in the French league. So yeah, I think this Europa League for Lille and also for Lyon could be interesting to follow. You remember that last season, Lyon lost this amazing game against Manchester United. That was completely crazy. So maybe they'll have a revenge spirit. I hope for them. They lost lots of players this summer because of their president messing up with everything. Yeah, I think you saw that. So that's kind of hard, but yeah, I mean, I follow these teams closely. You'll have also Nice from French league, which is involved in this Europa League competition. To be honest, Nice is not the team that is hyping me a lot. Their style of play is not really interesting for me, but I will follow them. Yeah, I'll put my bet on Lyon going a bit far. Maybe same as last season, maybe more. I don't know. Even they lost great players, for example, Mikotadze, Lacazette, for example. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll say Lyon might be a good contender for this Europa League. Yeah, we'll follow it closely, I think. Amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, time to maybe another subject. Just to go back quickly on this Ballon d'Or, we'll have a few minutes to debrief those results. We saw that Ousmane Dembélé has been elected, of course. We saw that PSG has been elected team of the season, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, let's move on. We talked about it last week. We said that Marca has planned a surprise. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And there were a few, notably called Palmer's eighth place finish, guys. More broadly, what do you think of this ranking? Do you think it's a good ranking? We see now the top 10. Joris, Darin, Alex, tell me what you think.
So I think the top three is all right because I expected Ousmane Dembele to win the Ballon d'Or, but leaving Pedri out of top 10 is outrageous.
Yeah.
I think Alex will
Crazy.
agree with me on this one. It is
Yeah.
completely unacceptable. Alex, what do you want to say
Yeah.
about this?
No, it's unimaginable how they left out Pedri of the top 10. I think they have an agenda against him or something just because he doesn't have the PR that they need for the Ballon d'Or. It was even controversial for the Women's Award because they gave the award for a third consecutive time to Aitana Bonmati.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was kind of controversial because she lost the Champions League final against Arsenal. She lost the Euro final against England. Surely there could have been a player from that England squad and Arsenal squad that could have taken the award home. But because Aitana Bonmati, she's like the most recognizable woman football player that there is right now on the planet, it's much more easier for people to get into the women's football knowing that Aitana
Yeah.
is the Ballon d'Or because she has the PR, she has everything. I don't think, and I swear to God, I don't think those journalists that voted for the Women's Ballon d'Or have really watched
No.
the full season of these girls playing. I don't think they have watched even one single full match of them playing football. And it's outrageous for me.
Maybe Pedri needs a bit of help from Lamine Yamal's PR team because Lamine Yamal's PR team is pretty damn good. Do you know what? he got into a lot of trouble for all those parties, and then he brings his whole family into the gala. He brings his grandmother for the gala. Outrageous, man. That's ultimate, like the
But
peak of PR.
bro, now he didn't get in any trouble, bro. He was just partying. I mean, since when going out became a problem for footballers? Do you think they are angels or something?
Now, to be
Wayne
honest,
Rooney
I just
played
want to say
every
something
single
really,
game
really quickly
drunk
here.
for
I
his
just
whole
want to say something
career.
really, really quickly here. Lamine Yamal is like one of the top 3 or top 5 football players in the world right now, and he's partying. I just want to say, if I was the 3rd goalkeeper of Luton Town, I would be partying every weekend, all day.
Yeah.
I just want to state that. So I understand Lamine Yamal completely.
Yeah, yeah, I think we all can agree with that. Also, talking about Lamine Yamal in Paris, like in Paris, people were really afraid in France too, because we knew that he has booked a restaurant for 50 people, so his family and some friends. He has booked party nights, all the things. So we said, okay, if this guy want to party in Paris all the night, it's because he will win the Ballon d'Or. So we were all like saying, "Oh my God, what is this guy doing?" But fortunately, Dembele won it. So yeah, we were happy with that. Jody, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to quickly say, I just to clarify, I have nothing against footballers party, but it's always the media that's creating problems for them. Lamine can do whatever he wants. I mean, as Derek said, if I was the 3rd choice goalkeeper of, I don't know, Sheffield Wednesday,
For
I'll
choice
go crazy.
barber.
Yeah, or like 4th choice barber of like Jamie Vardy, I would go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking? I thought that since Marca said we're expecting a surprise tonight, I thought maybe the France Football sent an email to Lamine Yamal saying that you won, but they didn't mention which trophy he won. So he thought he won the Ballon d'Or, and then
Maybe.
Maybe.
he invited his entire family. He booked the restaurants, the hotels, and parties and everything. And then he realized he got the Copa trophy for the youngsters. And that's maybe why also his dad was furious about it as well, because I've seen some posts on the social media that his dad was saying, I'm not saying it's a robbery, but I'm saying it's unfair to my son or something like that.
Yeah, he didn't cry in his car, maybe. That's okay. Guys, we've now come to the end of this podcast. Thank you all for listening on Spotify or YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on social media. 4 lads, 1 red card. Jotis, Alex, Darren, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
See
See
you
you.
next week,
Thank you.
everyone. Take care. And yeah, bye bye.